So for this skill refresh, we're specifically talking about the Designed Alliance and kids, and how you might approach a coaching experience or coaching relationship with children, specifically those that are under the age of about 10 years old. So once they get to about 10 to 14, they're experiencing the first part of adolescence and puberty and everything that comes with that. And so we take a slightly different approach to adolescence, but when we're talking about kids, we alter the Designed Alliance slightly so that it makes sense for where they are developmentally and really honors who they are at their best and honors their experiences, both those that have been traumatic and those that have been really good, and their resourcefulness, the things that they have access to in the world that we don't as adults. So I'm excited to talk to you about this today. I think that children are one of the most marginalized and oppressed people groups in the world. I think that their choices are constantly being taken from them. And so one of the really exciting things about working with kids from a coaching perspective is that you get to start giving choices back to them. So I'll briefly talk about how we alter the Designed Alliance, and then I'll give you a couple of tools for when you start working with kids to remind them of the assumptions and the agreements that you'll be making with them before you head into whatever sort of coaching experience you have planned. So as you remember, our coaching assumptions at Lark Song are that people are naturally creative, resourceful, whole, and relational, that they're uniquely valuable, that they're worthy of being championed, that they're capable of solving complex problems, and that they're ready to live at choice. In a Designed Alliance, we then add to those assumptions 5 agreements: confidentiality, which is the commitment to only sharing your story, right? And challenge by choice, that we offer everything by invitation and not demand. Fierce wonder, sometimes called the laboratory agreement, where we agree to be judgment-free, no fixing, saving, or setting anyone straight, as Parker Palmer would say. Authentic presence, that we're together, we're all in and fully committed. Also called the sandbox agreements, and the 5th one is the wholehearted agreement, taking care of yourself and knowing your impact. On top of that, we then add safety norms. So just like a coaching agreement, Designed Alliance with adolescents or adults, we're going to have agreements. We call the agreements declarations. The assumptions. We're going to have assumptions. We call those assumptions declarations, and then we're going to have agreements, and we call those agreements rules. Then we develop safety norms, but those we just ask them what would make you feel safe, what do we need to agree on here, or we tell them the logistics of the particular space that we're in and how we need to respect that space and partner with it well. So instead of these lengthy assumptions, we provide kiddos with 5 declarations. I am creative, I am unique, I am worthy, I am capable, and I am ready. There are some yoga positions that go with each of these declarations, asanas if you will, or yoga poses, that will provide a worksheet, a little poster for you so you can see what those are. So when you're in a larger environment with these kids, we repeat the declarations over and over again all together with the different postures. However, it's also really helpful as a tool to give kiddos when they can't make their bodies big and because they have to sit at a desk, or because they have to lay down in bed, or because they have to sit at a table. When they can't make their bodies really big because of some other agreement or influence or rules that are being placed on them, what we encourage them to do is just to use their hand. So they can use their hand and the fingers on it to say, and we put each finger next to our thumb and we say, I am creative, I am unique, I am worthy, I am capable, I am ready. I am creative, I am unique. I am worthy. I'm capable. I am ready. So when things happen to them that are unfair, or it feels like their choices are being taken away, they can continue to discipline themselves in what's actually true about them, and they can choose to do that. We replace the agreements with rules, and instead of 5 rules, we just have 3. During my undergraduate program, my child development and learning and motivation professors encouraged me, whenever you are working with children, use as few rules as possible. That way everyone can remember them. They all say them the same way. And kids aren't wondering, like, is that rule true here or both places, or what are the exceptions? They're just always the rules. So the 3 rules that we have for our little Larks are: rule number 1, listen well. Rule number 2, use your words. Rule number 3, be kind and loving. So really anything that they're doing that's acting out, or wanting to get attention, or out of their own pain, or because of other experiences in their lives that would be not desirable or wouldn't actually lead toward their fulfillment and flourishing, is probably breaking one of those 3 rules. So we can just remind them, what's rule number 2? When they're frustrated, or they push someone, or they run out of the room, or they start ignoring, or they roll their eyes, we can say, what's rule number 2? And they remember that rule number 2 is use your words. And so we say, can we try again with rule number 2? Will you use your words with me? And they usually do. Or they say, yes, Miss Megan, I need a break, and so we honor that and we give them a break. Or if we find that they're kind of messing around, or pushing their partner, or not keeping their hands to themselves, we can say, remember, what's rule number 1? Listen well. Right. Rule number 1 is listen well. So can you listen well? Because it hurts my feelings when you're not listening to me. Oh, yes, Miss Megan, right? The last one is be kind and loving. So if they use mean words when they're using their words, or they're being rude, then we can say, hey, do you remember rule number 3? Yeah, rule number 3 is be kind and loving. Right. So was that kind and loving? No. What would be kind and loving? Can we try that? Can we try again? All that sort of approach, those 3 rules and that sort of approach, also encourages a growth mindset in the experience that you're crafting, as well as the children that you are working with. So we've got our 5 declarations, which are based on the assumptions: I am creative, I am unique, I'm worthy, I'm capable, I am ready. We have our 3 rules. Number 1, listen well. Number 2, use your words. Number 3, be kind and loving. Then you just need to clearly communicate anything that they need to know about what will be happening that day, or during their time with you, or what is on limits and off limits, as far as the space that you're in goes. So when you are designing an alliance with kiddos, you can absolutely use those 5 declarations with the hand gestures for remembering, that gives them their choices back, and then the 3 rules. We also have a Lark Song Kids Credo that we give to any adults that are working with children. So a lot of times you'll need volunteers if you're doing a larger event with kids, or some sort of class or camp or something like that. And they might not be able to go through the entire Lark Song training program. They probably won't be, but we have a 1-page document that says, this is what we believe about children, and this is what we believe about how we need to show up as adults in the lives of children. Super excited for you guys to continue working with kids, and everything else that's available for you on the collab, as well as if you want to dive a little bit deeper into this, you can absolutely access the 6-week training about Little Lark's programming, and how to start integrating that into the work that you're doing as a coach, or the other sorts of work that you're doing in the world.